So, here we are with a new MMO in the horizon. Scars of Honor, and we have a whole lot of new info on it. Instead of making 10 videos covering each bit, I'm making one covering it all. So, is Scars of Honor worth playing? And here's everything we know about it. Well, we don't currently have an official map else than the continent of Irongarth, occupied by the Sacred Order. Oh yeah, and did I mention a two-faction system where they fight against the domination. And before we hop in, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe. And while you're there, likes and comments go a long way to help push the video out there, so thank you all! So, the confirmed races are Human, Sun Elf, Dwarf, Baron, Against, Undead, Grunthar, Infernal Demons, and Orcs. We don't currently know the racial traits they will give out, but we know the classes. Starting with Mage, they have Arcane, Fire, Lightning, Ice, and Cosmic powers, great crowd control, and mobility while they fight from range, but developers snuck info about wielding melee weapons and having tank-like abilities like shielding damage based on how much damage they do. Paladin, a high-impact frontline fighter wielding holy power. They can shield themselves from damage and support allies by dropping down banners to buff them. Druid, channeling nature, they can summon beasts, heal allies, and shapeshift into tank forms to fight along their beasts. Ranger, a long-range sharpshooter excelling at sustained damage, a trapper controlling the battlefield with traps and bombs, or using ingenuity placing turrets and electrical abilities. This class has great mobility and control, although squishy when caught. Warrior, a close combat melee fighter best on the front lines and versatile with weapons. They can be berserkers, vanguards, or pathfinders. Priest, the main support with healing and shielding abilities. They can also go on the offensive with a more aggressive playstyle, dispelling and disrupting enemies with a bigger focus on doing damage. Assassin, squishy, but they hit hard with speed, utilizing blades, poison, or lightning, while using short-length invisibility to get around. Crit hits and armor piercing are a big part of this class, with tools to disrupt spellcasters like mages. Necromancer, commanding the dead and wielding elemental, spiritual, and cosmic powers. They can summon minions, drain HP, or trade theirs for power, and use AoE weakening effects, allowing them to be played on the front lines or further back. Mystic, focused on damage over time and debuffing using poison, curses, or celestial powers. They apply pressure, weakening opponents to control the pace of the fight. And lastly, Pirate, the perfect mid to close range fighter using blades, pistols, and tricks with support from their parrots. They have many ability paths from using cannons and explosives to cursing and poisoning enemies. Leveling is confirmed to not be as slow as classic WoW, but longer than your typical modern MMO. While leveling at each level, you'll be pumping points into your skill tree with hundreds of nodes that won't lock you into a single playstyle. Now, here's the most critical part of the whole character building experience that defines Scars of Honor: the Scar system. When you reach a milestone, crush an open world elite, or defeat a boss for the first time, you will earn a Scar. This will give you the option to pick a card from a predetermined group for each upgrade. These will play a big role in shaping your character by offering permanent passives, ability altering effects, and possibly new skills. Now, what's the combat system like? First, the game is tab target, but it implements action style casting abilities, skill shots, and dodging. There's also no auto attacking, so everything is done manually. So, what does the PvE currently look like? In the open world, you'll find a variety of mobs and elites throughout all the zones. And for dungeons, they will be procedural, meaning you won't be running the same layout over and over as you avoid traps, complete puzzles, and collect loot. As of now, there's only one confirmed dungeon, the Crypt of the Fallen, featuring spiders, scorpions, and gorejaws, with the Spider Queen boss at the end. As of recent update, dungeons are also being reworked to be shorter but packed with content, as previous builds were too long with empty sections. And now, let's get into PvP, a huge focus in Scars of Honor. With the two-faction system, you will only be able to open-world fight the opposing faction with the optional flagging system. There will also be an arena mode with an entire rank system and leaderboards. There's 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s, and now a new confirmed 2v2v2 and 3v3v3 style. And lastly, a recent update just pushed out a new dueling system where you will be able to fight anyone, including your faction, in the open world. What makes this special is you don't just have 1v1s, but you have 2v2s and more, with an additional feature allowing you to 1vx. This will work based on groups. When other players challenge you, everyone will have the option to participate, if allowed by the challenger. We don't have an official group size yet, but we can expect 4 at the minimum. When it comes to gathering, there's so much to do. The confirmed ones are woodcutting, mining, herbalism, fishing, blacksmithing, cooking, and alchemy. To make gathering interactive and combat botting, each one will have its own minigame, with us currently knowing there will be tracking and timed clicks. Some of them have multiplayer nodes. These could be bigger trees or bigger rocks, where you will need multiple players working together to complete the minigame. In those cases, you will all earn separate resources and will not have to share them. Crafted tools will also affect which resource you can gather and the difficulty of the minigame. We also got a new peek at the inventory system, and we can now see there will be different tabs: general loot, consumables, materials, and miscellaneous. Personally, for gathering, I'd love to see some sort of leveling system similar to New Worlds, and purchasable inventory expansions with in-game gold, and bigger stack sizes for resources. When it comes to mounts, it's confirmed we will only have ground mounts, as the devs don't want us flying all over and missing the content. Now, the juicy part: graphics. The game has come a long way from an old low-cost style to a rough stylized look, and now they're refining and pushing for quality. We recently got a look at the improved lighting, new grass, and a confirmation that ground textures like paths will be upgraded. This graphic style will be a good balance for quality and performance. So, what do you need to run the game? Well, from the Steam page, we can see the minimum requirements. For those of you who don't know anything about PC parts, well, a potato can run it. So if you have anything from the last few years, like a 3060, you'll be running ultra settings at high FPS. Now, this does not mean all good yet, because it's also up to the developers to optimize the game to run at its best. From recent updates, we've seen stress tests, with more coming on the way. When it comes to monetization, the game will be free to play without any subscription model or upfront costs. and no paid expansions. Now, the big question, will it have pay to win or not? As of now, it's confirmed there will not be any pay to win, and yes, this includes convenience items like XP boosts, loot boosts, and better drop chances. So they will be following a strict cosmetic monetary system, so we can expect transmog tokens, monthly transmog pass, a battle pass with pure cosmetics, mount skins, and ability skins. It was also recently confirmed they are not going to monetize backspace, as many in the community considered it an unfair advantage. I heard an idea from the streamer Canon to have a gacha monetary system like where wins meet. This could be very profitable for the game and would keep the game away from pay to win, but the devs have responded that it wouldn't work because of EU gambling laws. I think there's still a workaround like the game CS2, with its new cases where they show you what you will get before you pay. That could be implemented to a gacha MMO system to work within those laws. But personally, I am not a fan of the whole gacha system. I am throwing this idea out there, but I still enjoy seeing cosmetics that people have worked hard for, not spent a lot of money for. So here's a general pros and cons we have on the current state of the game. Starting with the pros. The game is free to play, so there's no barriers to get in and to come back when future expansions release. No pay to win. This is huge compared to all new modern MMOs. A strong PvP focus. It's not mandatory, and there's still many options, plus a rank system for those competitive players. Build variety. The game pushes it with its massive skill tree, giving players the freedom to build how they want. Open communication. The devs are always updating us with posts, streams, videos, and working with our feedback. And lastly, for the pros, social push. They are focused on factions, guilds, and players working together. This is different from many modern MMOs where players can play all the content alone and don't have to interact with anybody else. And now, the cons. There's no game yet. Everything sounds and looks great, but we cannot really know until we get our hands on it. The WoW claims. The game clearly has inspirations from WoW, and so we will see how different it really is. Tab target. Players are divided on combat styles, with many refusing to play if it's not an action combat MMO. Bots. With it being free to play, it's going to be easier than ever for bots to get in, and we haven't really heard much on their plans to protect players and the economy else than the gathering minigames and loot dropping on the floor that has to be picked up, making it harder for bots. I think here what we're really looking for is, will there be an anti-cheat, and if so, how severe will it be? And on top of that, will there be strict enforcement actions against not only the bot owners, but the people buying, trading, or profiting off of them? And lastly, there's no clear endgame that has been spoken about, which is the most important factor for player retention. Now, for those of you interested, they announced a free open playtest starting April 30th to May 11th. And on top of that, from recent news, it's finally confirmed we will be getting multiple playtests all throughout 2026. They will be possibly every month to every 2 months. And this will last until the game releases in early access Q1 2027. I'll be covering Scars of Honor as its development continues, so if you want to stay updated, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And while you're there, let me know in the comments if there's anything I missed and what you want to see added to the game, because the devs are always looking out at the community and reading comments, so maybe your idea gets picked up. And with that being said, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.